Hi, welcome back to the shop. Thanks for stopping by. This week's video is not going to actually be a project video, but it's going to be a review of the Ortur Laser Master 2 Pro. In full disclosure, I was sent this by the company who makes them, no charge to review it, and so it was given to me to do this review, and just wanted people to know that beforehand. I am primarily a wood turner, so if you watch my channel you know that I do most really round things. So what I've got here is just the base laser engraver. I have installed the upgrade Z-axis attachment, which is good for my fat little fingers, and I also had them send me the Y-axis for doing round objects, and you'll see that in action a little later on. I do show the original Z-axis mount as well, and I will just show you this. I've added the attachments to do irregular shaped cylinders. So if you were wanting to do, for example, like a wine glass, which you can't do clear glass on these, but you could set this on here and it will balance. This will bring it up to the level so that you can engrave the surface. So if you were doing like a wooden urn or a vase that you wanted to put an engraving on, you could do it on this attachment, and you'll see that work a little later on in the video. They send you a pair of laser glasses with it and a few different pieces of material to practice on. I downloaded Lightburn 1.0.02 to run it per software, which seems to work pretty good. The laser itself is very simple to run. The software takes a little bit to learn. I'm not a tech guy, so I'll get into some of the tech stuff about the laser for those people who are techie during the video, while I'm showing you some of the things that I made sped up. So as a non-tech person, I'm more interested in what the thing can do and how it works than I am the parameters and specifications of the machine. It is all metal construction. It wasn't very hard to put together. They say 15 minutes for a beginner. It took me an hour. The instructions weren't bad. I did use a YouTube video of another person who has one assembling it, which was very easy. Again, small screws, there's a dozen screws involved in putting all this together. But again, with big fingers and small screws, it probably took me longer than someone with a little bit more dexterity than I have. All the tools required to put it together came with it, except for a Phillips screwdriver. A couple of the features on this, it does have an emergency stop button. So if you do get into a mess, you can just hit this and it goes off immediately. This sensor detects if there's any kind of a flame. And it will shut down the machine as well, and I'll demonstrate that in the video as well. So we'll burn a few pieces, and I'll talk about some of the technical aspects of this thing and some of the improvements that they made over the original version, or the last version, and hope you enjoy. Just before we get into burning a few things here, I thought I'd show you the package that it came in and show what it looked like before it was assembled. It was very well packaged. They actually have a warehouse in Belgium and another one in the US. So Belgium obviously services Belgium and the EU, and the US takes care of North America. So I got this within 7 days of the time that they shipped it to me. I live in Canada on the East Coast, so the delivery was very fast. So one of the things I really wanted a laser engraver for was to put my logo on the bottoms of my pieces. And I really didn't want to go with coins. They're hard to find, good quality ones around here. And brands are pretty hit and miss. If you get too much pressure, you get a burn. If you don't get enough, it skips. So this is the cleanest way of doing it. So this process took just under 4 minutes start to finish. And again, it takes a little bit of practice to learn what speed and what power to use. But we got it pretty decent on this one. So while I'm showing this one burning on the optional round attachment for the Y-axis, we'll just talk about a few of the other options that are on this particular model. It has a shield around the laser, the orange shield you see there now, which has the same protection as the laser glasses. So the Laser Master Pro has a 1.5 firmware, which is more powerful than the previous version, and it optimizes the motion of the laser, which allows it to go up to 10,000 millimeters per minute. Compared to 4,000 millimeters per minute in the previous version. And that would be a big asset for production engraving. The motherboard in this is an OLM Pro V10, and it has a safer 24-volt high-efficiency electrical system, and that reduces the current by half compared to the 12-volt at the same power. And this could also support up to 60-watt laser modules. Setting the focus of this laser is really easy. You just loosen the laser shield, slide it up out of your way. Take the depth gauge provided, set it on top of the piece you want to engrave. Then you loosen the screws in the Z-axis and allow the housing of the laser, not the module itself, just the housing, to drop down until it touches that depth gauge. Tighten the Z-axis screws up and you're good to go. Now this is a standard Z-axis mount that comes with the machine. It works fine. I do find those screws small for my fingers, so I did request the upgrade to the Z-axis, and I highly recommend that. So this laser is accurate to within 1/1000th of an inch, and they do that by having a very small focal point. It's 0.08 millimeters by 0.15 millimeters, which is smaller than many which are typically 0.23 by 0.23. This example here is a white ceramic tile that I painted with violet paint, and then I painted over top of that with black paint. I've seen this done in another video and I wanted to try it. I used a fairly intricate drawing just that I pulled off the web to test it with, to see how accurate it would be and how detailed it could get. So you'll see a picture after this sped up burn is over with of this one, and the one right after the picture you're going to see is the same white tile with only black paint on it. This thing has 1000 grayscale performances, so it does some pretty neat stuff, whether you're going in color like this or in grayscale. And so this is a picture of the finished ceramic tile that you just saw, and you can see that it's really detailed. And then this one is the white tile with just the black paint, and again very detailed. The picture really doesn't do it justice. And then this is just a very inexpensive phone case that we just burned a picture on the back of to see how it would work, and it turned out really, really nicely. One thing I was interested in being able to do was cut out parts with the laser engraver. This was the first attempt, and we used one of the safety features where the piece caught fire and the machine actually shut it down. Cool. Some of the other safety features, it has active possession protection, so that when the machine is displaced or tilted, it would automatically stop the laser to prevent any damage of a laser being shot at something that it wasn't meant to be. Also, it has a safety guard that if the machine or the computer crashes, it'll shut off automatically. And also exposure duration detection. So if the laser doesn't move and the laser beam is still active, it'll automatically shut off as well. Also, of course, the emergency stop button that I showed at the very start. So the project that I'm engraving here now is on a piece of 5mm plywood. This laser will cut up to 9mm. I wanted to try it on this medallion, so I printed the picture, burnt the picture in first, and then right after this picture gets burned in, you'll see that the laser circles and actually cuts the medallion out of this little piece. Now this is a pretty inexpensive piece of plywood. It was like $4 for $2, and it's not really nice plywood. So there are blemishes right in where the mousse in the very center is. You can see them there now. Those are actually in the plywood, not in the engraving itself. And again, learning as we go. Not sure how much speed and laser strength I needed to cut this out, but this did a really nice clean job. I got no burn on the outside whatsoever, so I will cut this plywood off cleanly without burning it. And you'll see the finished piece at the end. So while this last project is finishing up, a couple other features that I really like about this is the scale marks that are printed on the aluminum frame. They're very nicely done, very convenient, and I like the way that the cable chain runs back and forth. It also seems very durable, and it moves very easily. It's very flexible. So again, this machine was given to me free of charge to review. And I would not have published this video if it was not a good machine, because I won't endorse anything that I wouldn't buy myself, and I certainly wouldn't recommend that anybody else does. But this machine is a very nice machine, works well. Again, it doesn't come with software. I chose to use Lightburn. There's other options out there. Thanks to Emily Hansen, whose name you see in the credits of all my videos, for her help with technical support. She certainly was a big part of the technical support on this one, to learn that software and to help figure out what speed and what laser strength to use. So there is a link, 2 links actually, in the description of this video. If you're interested in a laser, you can take either one of those links and it'll get you to this exact machine. Just a reminder that the Z-axis upgrade and the attachment for engraving round objects are accessories, and they're not included with the machine. They're extras that you have to purchase separately. If you're still with me, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Thanks again to everybody who's subscribed to the channel and everyone who watches the videos. I appreciate that as well. We'll see you next time.